Right, I'm just doing a follow-up video to a video I did, which I sort of used to sort of show my stance with regards to moral guidelines and in reaction to the rubbish I've seen around me recently, and doing that because I feel it's important. But I just have a few other things to add to that. Um, I had a chat the other day with a priest that I have a good connection with. We have a chat sometimes weekly. It's been sort of recently, it's been a few weeks missed out, maybe because he's been occupied over the Christmas sort of period, but it was good to get back in touch and have a chat about things. Really valued the time with him. Again, must have been an hour and a half, something like that. I bought him a drink because I really value the contact. He's usually, yeah, but I feel like, I do feel the importance of showing value in other ways. That if I can do that, I feel it's important to do so. Yeah, and we spoke about wisdom from years gone by. I've spoke about my grandparents and how I've passed their experience from wartime specifically to my children, and how I value what they said and sort of what they meant. They said things, but there was more meaning behind those words, and to actually pass it on verbally, the value of them doing that, to me, we showed an appreciation for that. And to the other day, he said, "Well, we're talking about Hull taking a battering and how a lady would hide under the kitchen table and get the kids to hide under the kitchen table as a matter of like a routine." And it was like to feel safe. I mean, if a bomb came through the roof, it wouldn't, a wooden table wouldn't stop that. But it was just like a routine that the kids followed, and it gave them somewhere to get shelter. So that in itself was something we discussed. It was like measures that can be taken in times of crisis, and have been taken in the past. And I personally find it interesting that we can talk about things sort of with a more broad scope, with a more sort of with a view on the grand scheme, as opposed to trivial whatever's desirable and all that sort of rubbish. And I think most people are not focused on things that, they may not seem important, but, in times of crisis, when things hit the fan, these sort of coping strategies are very important. People need to know how to react to situations, how to cope in a crisis. And these are like strategies that older people from older generations have used and passed on to my friend the priest, who's, was discussing that with me the other day. And me, I find value in it. He finds value in it. It's reflection on things that have happened in the past and how people have dealt with crises, situations in the past. And it's, we were talking about the cycle of nature, and, it's not like these things are not going to revisit. It's not, however much you want to play things down. Yeah, so I just wanted to speak about the value in conversing with people like that has been for me. Speaking with another lady, the lady sort of. So I was speaking about being temperamental with people, but these people who I was being temperamental with were intimidating a woman. But what really knocked me back was, well, you've obviously got an attitude problem. I'm sorry. I'm sticking up for a girl who's been intimidated, and you're saying I've got an attitude problem. What? And I'm like, what? I mean, some people could say, what planet are you coming from? I mean, so I found that all a bit sort of odd. Sort of, oh, it's your fault. You should, you should wind in and. But I'm not allowed. It's like, oh no, don't lose your temper. You're not allowed to be like that. That's not normal. Well, I'm sorry, that's fucking bullshit. Because, I've having discussed this just the other night with my other friend, and he said he was saying about how women have affected his life, and he lost his temper with me. But when he lost his temper and swore at me on Messenger, I didn't sort of react with, oh, you're a complete waste of time, da da da. No, I listened to him. I took on board what he had to say. And then when he came back and said, oh, I'm sorry for saying whatever I said to you, I said, don't worry about it. We'll get over it. I've learned a bit more about you. You've learned a bit more about me. It's all positive. It's all good. And, people are allowed to lose a temper and then make up with people and just be good buddies, which is what me and my other friend who fell out are now, And it makes relationships stronger. My attitude towards it is simply, if you have a problem with something where you're shouting, you're being abusive or whatever, when I say that, I mean not in an aggressive, like these lads were being in this kebab shop, not in an aggressive, taking advantage of someone, where I mean in a just maybe saying something hurtful verbally because you're feeling defensive. I feel the best thing to do is to confront the issue and deal with it. Let the person who you're upset with, let them know how you feel about them. I don't think that's the wrong thing to do. But there seems to be this stupid way of being where, oh no, if somebody gets upset, oh, just ignore them and just I'm sorry, but if you keep just ignoring things and that, you're not going to have any sort of real view on life. You're not going to see things as they are. You're just going to be always living in an illusion, because you're not seeing things as they should be. In a natural state, you're denying the truth. That's clearly how it comes across. You're denying the truth. So I was a bit upset that um, these things were said, and then something was said about tablets, and I'm sort of like, you are. Why should you need to take tablets to alter your state of mind to deal with something? I said, well, you might as well be saying, well, go and do this drug, this illegal drug, because it's just the same. It takes you into an elusive state where you're not quite, and there's all these side effects. Or you might as well drink alcohol, become a alcohol dependent, and then you'll be able to handle it in a different way. I mean, alcohol makes you more aggressive as well, so is that such a good thing? But, all these sort of, oh, do this, do that, it's all stupidity. Just fucking deal with it as a natural human being. Why is that such a fucking wrong thing to do? But people suggesting it don't seem to, it doesn't seem to click for some reason. Yeah, so, but again, another thing I just want to get off my chest because that I found offensive. Other people have said very offensive things, sort of taking things personally and trying to build up a case for how they've been offended in their lives, not considering, and I'm talking about women, but other women who've been in situations that I've seen, and I'm sort of talking about them, and they're, not in a specifically it was so and so, but this woman was, being abused and treated like dirt, and it's like, oh well, what about my situation and what I have had happen to me, and you sort of like, hold on a fucking minute, do you know what I mean? What is it? Who's the biggest fucking victim? And I found it very annoying that there was so many women playing victim rather than, oh, is she all right? Do you know what I mean? It's like, am I the only fucking person saying that? And I'm a man. So yeah, I just found it all very difficult to fathom, and some of the things that were said were absolutely vile. So you know, it's I obviously I have to keep discretion and everything based on a lot of the stuff. Yeah. So anyway, just wanted to add these things and sort of have a little bit more to reflect on as regards my posture. I also said if you keep the priest that I talked to, if you keep quiet about things, it's like you're going along with it in silence, and it's not always a good thing to sort of to not say something when these things are going on. So again, I reiterate from the last video, I'm not into how women are being treated in this locality, and my posture is based on moral guidelines. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take drugs, I don't have any tattoos, and that's the way I am. And peace, love, and light.